Good morning to all. Today our discussion topic is excretion of a drug. In previous class, you have seen how the drug has been metabolized and what are the phases of drug metabolism and how phase one are involved, how drugs are involved in phase one and how the drugs are involved in phase two metabolism. Once the drug undergoes metabolism, the drug has to be excreted out from our body. So there are various major routes where the drugs can be excreted from our body. One is the major route and another one is the minor route. And there is another important where the drugs has been eliminated, the elimination, that is order of kinetics. Okay, first order of kinetics and a zero order of kinetics. So the today's objective of today's session is, at the end of the session, the student should know able to define what is excretion of a drug and what are the routes of drug excretion and what are the drugs that are excreted through the major route of drug excretion, what are the minor routes of drug excretion, and what is plasma of life of a drug and what is the significance of plasma of life of a drug and how the drugs are being excreted, what are the kinetics of drug excretion, and we'll talk about the first order kinetics and a zero order kinetics at the end, the summary of the today's session. So definition of excretion. Drug excretion is the removal of a drug from the body either as a metabolite or a unchanged drug. So the drug has to be after it undergoing metabolism, that either a metabolite can be excreted or a unchanged drug should be excreted. Otherwise, there will be development of accumulation of drug, can cause drug toxicity, and not only induce toxicity, it can also be involved in a drug interactions. So the routes of drug elimination, drugs eliminated from the body either unchanged by a process of excretion or converting into a water soluble metabolite. Both the process of metabolism as well as excretion are essential for the elimination of a drug from the body. So excretory organs eliminate mainly polar compounds, which are more efficiently than a lipid lipid soluble compounds. So the major route of drugs excretion is the one is renal route, biliary, fecal, and alveolar route. So minor route that include milk, skin, hair, sweat, and a saliva. Majority of drugs that has been excreted through the renal, and drugs that undergo excretion via biliary, they undergo intrahepatic circulation. So those drugs which are been undergoing intrahepatic circulation, they are be having a very longer duration of action. And if you see the drugs that are excreted through alveolar, such as general anesthetics, are being excreted over the lungs. And the coming to the minor route of drug administration, certain drugs are being excreted through the milk, where certain drugs are highly contraindicated during lactation, because this can reaches to because the presence of these drugs in the milk that can cause severe adverse effect in the fetus. So these drugs or should be contraindicated during lactation. There are certain drugs that are being excreted through the skin, hair, saliva, and sweat. So the first major route, renal. So the kidney is the most important organ where the excretion of most of the drugs takes place. That is mainly the free drugs and their metabolite. For example, the furosemide, which is a diuretic, and gentamicin, which is an antimicrobial, and deutubocurarin, skeletal muscle relaxant, are excreted through kidney. There are three important key process that involved in the renal excretion. One is glomerular filtration, and another one is active tubular secretion and passive tubular reabsorption. Glomerular filtration is in turn depends upon the plasma, depends upon drugs binding to the protein and molecular size. So if you see the glomerular filtration, only the unbound fraction of unionized drugs is filtered at the glomerulus, but they are being reabsorbed by the tubular lumen into the cells lining the tubule. Thus, ultimately, small amount of drugs appear in the urine. Ionized drugs, which are highly excreted by the glomerular filtration, are not being reabsorbed back. So another important molecular side. Drugs having smaller molecular size are more readily filtered, and drugs having a high molecular weight, more than 20,000, are unable to filtrate through glomerular filtration. Such as molecules, such as macromolecules such as heparin, insulin, and growth factors, irrespective of their drug binding, are unable to pass through the glomerulus. And plasma binding protein. Only the free drugs can be filtered through the glomerulus, whereas such as the drugs that are binds to plasma binding protein, which are act as a drug reservoir. For a temporarily, they act as a drug reservoir. Only the free form will be involved in the drug actions. Here, the only the free drugs can be filtered through the glomerulus, while the protein drugs are while the protein binding drug decreases the renal excretion. So the extent of protein binding is limited fraction for filtration. If you see the warfarin, it is 98% bound to albumin. Only the 2% is non-bound to warfarin, and they are being excreted through glomerulus. Then tubular secretion. Glomerular filtration removes 20% of the drugs from blood before it reaches to the kidney. The rest 80% of the drug passes to the proximal tubule, where it is secreted into the tubular lumen. So the tubular lumen secretions are energy dependent carrier mediated system that are being active here. There are two important that are operating. One is for acidic drugs, mainly acidic drugs such as penicillin, salicylate, thiazide, diuretics, and nalidic acid, and probenecid, and endogenous substance like uric acid. Then for basic drugs such as morphine, quinidine, quinine, procaine, neostigmine, and some endogenous substance like dopamine, choline, and histamine and serotonin. And the other important factors apart from the transport, the other important factors also involved is physiochemical characteristics that also plays a important role. Drugs having a similar physicochemical characteristics, they compete for the same carrier protein. For example, if you see the probenecid, which is a weak acid, which competitively inhibits the tubular secretion of penicillin. So by competitively inhibiting the tubular secretions of penicillin, there is a prolongation of action of penicillin, prolonged actionation of a pencil that is very effective in the treatment of very severe infective disease. So uh, penicillin duration of action can be prolonged when we combine with a probenecid, which is having a similar physiochemical characteristics of the penicillin. So because of this competition, they inhibit the tubular secretions of penicillin. So the penicillin will be within the circulation. So that is will be effective in the treatment of infectious disease. Then coming to the weekly weekly acidic drugs such as lactic acid, salicylate, and thiazide diuretics. These drugs will interfere with the excretion of endogenous substance such as uric acid. The common side effect of thiazide, these thiazides will inhibit the secretion of uric acid. So when we combine a weak acidic drugs such as these drugs will interfere with the uric acid levels, that interferes with the excretion of uric acid, that causes the increase in the levels of uric acid levels in the plasma that is sufficient to precipitate the acute attacks of gout. Then passive tubular reabsorption. The renal tubule behaves as a typical lipid barrier, especially in the distal region. It depends upon the ionization constant, pH of the urine, and tubular reabsorption. As acidic drugs, as the pH of the urine is acidic drug, so all the acidic drugs such as salicylate, barbiturate, sulfonamide remain predominantly non-ionized, since there is a presence of an acidic drug. So more reabsorption than excretion of the drug. So acidic drugs are not been reabsorbed, are not been excreted in a acidic medium. and and if the pH of the urine is made alkaline by giving a sodium bicarbonate or sodium citrate, here the excretions are more than reabsorption. When the urine of the pH is made alkaline by using a sodium carbonate instead of reabsorption, instead of reabsorption, there will be a more excretion will takes place, because in a opposite environmental, the acidic drugs will become ionized, so there won't be a reabsorption. Instead of that, there will be more excretion of the drugs takes place. This phenomena is very important in treating a poisoning condition, especially in the salicylate poisoning, where the urine has made alkaline by using a by using such as sodium bicarbonate, so that the drug will not be absorbed, it will be excreted out. In weak basic drugs such as morphine, amphetamine are predominantly excreted in the acidic urine. So their action, their excretion can be similarly in the weak basic drugs. Their basic drug excretion can be facilitated by using adding a acidic drug such as ascorbic acid. On the other hand, if the pH of the urine is made alkaline, the reabsorption would increase than the excretion. And another important, strong acidic or a strong basic drugs remain ionized at all the pH. These drugs are not being reabsorbed, they are being readily excreted out. This is an exceptional condition where when you are using either acidic or a strong acidic or a basic drug, they remain ionized at all the pHs. So they are not being reabsorbed, they are readily excreted out. And another exceptional condition is there when we use a quaternary ammonium compound such as aminoglycoside antibiotic, being a polar drugs, they are not being reabsorbed, they are being readily excreted out. Then coming to the second important biliary excretion, so the liver cells which transfer various, liver is the site where the metabolism of the drugs takes place and where the conjugation will takes place. Here they will transfer the substance from plasma to the bile by a transport system, that is independent carrier system, that is utilized by both acidic as well as basic drugs. So drugs that show high elimination through bile, including phenyne, deuterofuran, and vancomycin and corticosteroids, erythromycin and chlorpromazine, they are subsequently eliminated through feces. Some drugs that are excreted through bile but are being delivered to the intestine and reabsorbed back in the cycle, and that undergoes a intrahepatic circulation. Then in the intestine, certain drugs transporters such as P-glycoprotein are present in the enterocytes. Hence, these drugs and their metabolites cannot be actively secreted from the systemic circulation into the intestinal lumen. Example, laxatives such as Cascara and Senna, which act only on a large bowls, are partly excreted into that area of bloodstream after their reabsorption from the small intestine. Certain drugs such as general anesthetic, which are being excreted through alveolar excretion mainly through lungs. General anesthetic drugs such as gases, volatile liquids, nitrous oxide, and certain drugs like formaldehyde, alcohol are eliminated by lungs through breath. So irrespective of the lipid solubility, because of excretion of drugs, not only depends on the solubility, it also depends upon the partial pressures in the blood. So certain essential oils such as eucalyptus oil, garlic oil are eliminated by expectoration. Excretion through breast milk, certain drugs, excretion of drugs in the breast milk is an important, not because of the amount of excretion, but because of the unwanted pharmacological effects in the nursing infant. The basic drugs can easily diffuse through the mammalian epithelium and gets accumulated in milk. Once diffused into the milk, these drugs cannot be reabsorbed back to the plasma because of relatively acidic pH of milk that cannot be sustainably ionized. You can remember drugs which are excreted through milk, such as bromocriptine, radioactive isotopes, ergotamine, ethosuximide. A stands for amiodarone or amphetamine, S stands for sex steroids, and T stands for tetracyclines. So the major route of the minor route of drug excretion, that is through skin, hair, sweat, and saliva. The griseofulvin is secreted through keratin precursor cell of skin, whereas heavy metals such as arsenic and mercury are excreted in the small quantities through the skin, whereas certain drugs such as arsenic, mercury, salts, iodides are secreted through hair follicles also, and certain drugs such as iodine, potassium iodide, lithium, phenytoin are also secreted through saliva. And biological half-life. So biological half-life, it is the time duration in which the plasma concentration of a drug falls by the 50% of the earlier value. A minimum 4 to 5 half-lives are needed for complete elimination of a drug from the body. We see the kinetics of drug elimination. There are two important kinetics, first order kinetics and zero order kinetics. Majority of the drugs that obey the first order kinetics, and few drugs are that obey the zero order kinetics. So the first order kinetics that tells you that elimination of a drug occurs, most of the drugs occurs elimination by the first order kinetic. The characteristic features of first order kinetics here is a constant fraction of a drug is eliminated at a constant interval of time. If you see an example here, the 100 microgram per ml, that is the initial concentration. You can see at a 2 hours interval, at every 2 hour interval, 50% of the drug has been eliminated. So the 100 microliter per ml has reduced to 50 microliter per ml. Then in that 50% has been reduced for interval of 2 hours, it reduced to 25 microliter per ml. Then the next 2 hours, the 25 has reduced to 12.5, and subsequently in the next 2 hours, it has been reduced to 6 microliter per ml. So the here first order, which obeys a constant fraction of a drug, are being eliminated at a constant interval of time. If this is the diagrammatic representation where the concentration, you can see at the initial concentration where you can see the concentration is high, but when it reaches to the time interval at this particular time, the concentration has been reduced, and subsequently in the next the T2 half, the concentration is still reduced, and at the next third level, the concentration is further reduced. So for a drug to eliminate from our body, it requires a minimum 4 to 5 half-lives. The plasma, the rate of drug elimination is not directly proportional to the plasma concentration. If the plasma concentration increases, the rate of elimination is also increases proportionality. Higher the plasma concentration also decreases at the rate of 50% per hour. If you see the example in the previous slide, we have seen the concentration is 100 microliter per ml. Here it is 200 microliter ml. Even though the fraction is 50% of the initial concentration at the same constant interval 2 hours, it is 100 microliter per ml. Then subsequently the next hour the 100 microliter per ml has reduced to 50 microliter per ml, and at an interval of 2 hours, and in 50 microliter per ml, 50% has been reduced, that is 25 microliter per ml, and the next 2 hours it is 12.5, and it's keep on at minimum 5 half-lives to reduce, so 95% of the drug will be eliminated. In other, so the first order kinetics will always remains the constant irrespective of the dose. Even if you increase the dose, but the concentration of the elimination remains the same. So this shows that if they double the plasma concentration, the T half is still 2 hours. So the drugs which eliminated first order kinetics, the biological half-life is depends upon the dose, route of administration, and the plasma concentration. So if you see the plasma half-life, which mainly depends upon certain important observations, that is absorption, distribution, metabolism, and excretion. If a drug is having a sustained release or a controlled release, preparations have a longer half-life. Drugs that are being highly bound to plasma binding protein have a longer distribution T half. Drugs that has been undergoing extensively metabolism, faster metabolism will have the short T half, and drugs that is undergoing renal excretion will have the short T half life. So this is another example. You can understand that a single dose, about 90, if you give a single dose, about 97% of the drugs that has been eliminated after 5 half-lives. So you can see initial you have given a 100 microgram per ml, that is the initial dose. You can see at the 5 half-life, the concentration of the drug has been reduced to 3.125 microliter per ml. So 97% of the drugs that have been accumulated, that has been eliminated. And if a fixed dose of a drug has been administered at every half-life, after 5 half-life, 97% of the drug will be reached to the steady state levels. So this steady state level is very important indicator. So even even if you are giving a drug, once the drug has been reached to the steady state level concentration, the absorption as well as elimination remains the same. So this is explained in the picture. Up to 5 half-life, the plasma concentrations keep on increasing. Thereafter, it reaches a steady state plateau levels, where the rate of absorption is equal to rate of elimination. So this is a very important phenomena. This is the diagrammatic representation, where there is a x-axis represents the half-lives, whereas y-axis represents the plasma concentration. This is the toxic levels, and this is the steady state effective plasma concentration. If a drug is within the steady state plasma concentration, there will be therapeutic effect. But once the drug has reached to the toxic levels, there will be a that can involve in more adverse effects. Okay, so when the drug is below the steady plasma concentration, the drug may not be efficient drug, and when the drug is maintaining a steady phase concentration, it is having most of the therapeutic effects. So ideal treatment, a steady state plasma concentration is maintained within the known effective therapeutic range, because at lower level the drug would be ineffective, but at a higher level the drug can cause lead to overdose toxicity. So then coming to the zero order kinetics, only the few drugs obey the zero order kinetics in true sense. Example, ethyl alcohol, which obeys the zero order kinetics. You see the characteristic features of zero order kinetics. A constant fraction or a fixed quantity of a drug is eliminated per unit time. Yes, For example, if you see the initial concentration of a drug is 50 microliter per ml and a fixed quantity, it is nothing but if you are taking a fixed quantity here, it is 25 microliter and the constant time is 1 hour. The drug has been reduced to half, that is 25 microliter per ml, and for the next 1 hour, the drug has been totally eliminated from the body. This is the zero order kinetics. Only few drugs obey the zero order kinetics. For example, ethyl alcohol, which follow the zero order kinetics. And coming to the other characteristics, this means that the rate of drug elimination or absorption proceeding at a fixed rate independent to the concentration of the drug. Whether increasing the dose does not directly proportional to the extent of elimination. Here you can see in the previously there is we have used a drug, we have doubled the dosage, double the dose, that is 100 mg per ml, where the constant fraction of elimination is 25 microgram. So 25, the initial concentration 100 microgram per ml has reduced to 75 microgram per ml, and for 1 hour duration, this 75 microliter for has been reduced to 50 microgram per ml, with a constant fraction of elimination of 20 microgram per ml, and the 25 has reduced to and again a constant fraction 25 microliter. So there will be a there won't be a presence of drug after the levels of the next 1 hour. So if you see the overall summary of today's session, drugs are that drugs what are undergo the metabolism, whether it is a metabolite or an unionized or unionized drug, that has to be readily excreted in our body. If the drug has been started accumulating in the body, it can cause drug toxicities. So there are major routes of drug elimination. Kidney is the major route of drug elimination, and the minor route that include saliva, saliva, skin, hair, and major route is main kidney as well as biliary are the major routes of drug excretion. So coming into the plasma of life, it is the concentration of a drug that has been reduced to half of the initial levels. So for a drug to eliminate from our body, it requires a minimum of 5 half-lives to excrete from our body, to excrete from our body. Coming to the order of kinetics, there are two order. One is zero order kinetics and the first order kinetics. Drugs, majority of the drugs that are obeying the first order kinetics, only few drugs are obeying zero order kinetics. So first order kinetics is the proportion of a drug that is eliminated per unit time. It is the concentration dependent process. Higher the concentration, faster the clearance. Whereas zero order, a constant amount, that is milligram of a drug is eliminated per unit time. It is the concentration independent process. So with this, I conclude today's session. Thank you all.